You remember that time I took the tour in the garage showing off all these engines? And this is the 66 HEMI that was missing the cylinder head. We had it on the dyno. The only thing is the cylinder head on this side was leaking a lot of water. He had a major hole in one of the exhaust ports. So he took the cylinder head away from me so he could go get it welded up or replace it. So in the meantime, this will sit here until I receive the head. My client bought these heads used, and somebody had poured these heads to the extreme. And for some reason on the exhaust port on cylinder number 8, he hit the water jacket. So we didn't see that, and we assembled the engine and put it on the dyno. Made some tests, and we saw we were losing water through the exhaust port on cylinder number 8.
So the HEMI came back off the dyno. Nick took off the faulty head, and Joe, his client, took it away to be fixed.
So my client, after 1 year later, he brought in that cylinder head that he had welded up for the water leak we had in the exhaust port. So he brought it back, we assembled the engine, and now we put it back on the dyno to do some more testing to see if everything went well.
Nick is eager to see this motor run, but it hasn't been an easy road up to this point. Apart from the over-modified head to contend with, this engine is sporting original 1966 dual quads, and they pose problems all their own.
The other dilemma we had is that these 66 carbs were a challenge because they used to run very lean. I couldn't even get an idle out of them. So I started playing with meeting rods and jets, and finally I got them going. And this is the type of model 1966 that you don't have no idle screws for the RPM. You got your fuel ratio screws, then you got this one to control the RPM. And as you can see, it's not threaded, no screws whatsoever on the linkage for the RPM. That was a challenge. I played a few hours last night playing with meeting rods and jets, and we finally got it the air fuel ratio perfect, and of course we got the idle to go at 800 RPMs. And now I have my client Joe coming in to check it out, see how everything runs on this motor before he wants to set up and put it in his 66 satellite.
This is the beautiful 1966 satellite convertible where the HEMI's going to end up. Nick finally got a chance to see it for himself a couple of weeks ago when Joe, the owner, brought it to the Orange Julep Classic Car Night.
There she is. Yeah, it's got space for a HEMI. We could do that. So this is where we're going to drop the 426. Man, this looks original, like genuine, eh? Look at that, the different intake manifold, damage cover's the same, water pump. It's got the screws from the valve cover. Where's the certification card, eh?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, look.
Shit, I didn't even know it was there.
Look. That's your like a warranty or something.
Oh wow.
Look at that. See? City card.
Nice. You spot all these things,
Yeah,
eh?
this is the guy. This is the guy who bought the car new. Unless they changed it, but I see it's overlapped with the new tags on it. Yeah, when those days when you bought the car, this one came with a wallet. It's a city card. Russia had these. Neat, eh? Now we need a new one in your name. Good luck getting one of those. There we go. Back in place.
Joe was lucky to find this car in such good shape, and he was even more fortunate to find a 1966 HEMI and carbs to make it even better. Now it's up to Nick to make it all work.
So we'll make a little start and see how it goes, and we'll take it from there. We'll warm it up a bit and make a test.
It would seem as though the head repair is holding strong, but Nick intends to make a few runs to the red line to be sure. And he wants to do it with his heat sensors in place on the dyno's headers, so he can monitor the individual exhaust temps during the pulls.
Ignition, water pump, fuel pump, start.
Nick is happy with the way he's got the engine running and idling. The one thing he doesn't like is the old spark plug wires he's testing with, backfiring with the HEMI under load. But they're the only ones he's got in the shop that will work with this distributor, and he can't get any new ones until Monday. They'll have to do for now.
No more water leak on the exhaust port. We got the climbers to idle. We got the perfect air-fuel ratio. And now the only thing is I need a set of wires to make sure it doesn't backfire. We'll make any load tests on it. And hopefully we get a set of wires next week and try it again and to see what our maximum horsepower is going to do.
That's one of the problems with working on the weekend. But this is when Joe could make it to the shop. And Nick knows he's been waiting a long time to see his HEMI in one piece.
Beautiful. That's nice. Big mother. Mother of all engines.
Nick tells his client about the engine's issues as he warms it up for a pull to high RPM.
Make another test to 1500 RPMs, and I'm sure it's going to backfire again, but just make a little demonstration for my client. So here's your oil pressure, that's your vacuum, that's your air fuel ratio on idle. And we're going to take it down. Let's start at 34, we're going to get 58, alright?
If anything's gonna blow, it's gonna blow right here.
So far, so good. Joe wants to hear it again.
Here we go. See, one little back part. You see that at the end?
One that time.
465 foot-pounds of torque and 438 horses. Not bad for a first test with ratty old spark plug wires. And it looks like the abused old original head is holding strong.
Since his car's a 66 and his engine's all 1966, he wanted to fix the same cylinder head, which he did. Brought it back in, I looked at the welding, it looked okay, but you can't tell until you get it started, heat it up, run it, and run it, and run it, heat up the engine up to 210 degrees, and let's see if it holds. And eventually that's what we did today, and just kept running it, and so far it held up, and it looks like they did a good job on the welding.
Next step, get it in the car.
And this engineer, I can't wait for him to bring in his car. It's a 66 Satellite convertible. That'll be a nice ride.
There's no doubt that Joe has exquisite taste in automobiles. And to prove it, just look at what he's leaving the shop in today.